In the Middle Ages, Europe dreamed of gold. Kings needed it for wars. Merchants needed it for power. Churches needed it for glory. But much of that gold came from a place many people forget. It came from West Africa. And at the center of that golden world stood Mali. This was not just a kingdom with treasure. This was an empire built around trade, taxes, deserts, rivers, and control. To understand Mali, you must follow the gold. Not the crown. Not the palace. Not even the king. Follow one piece of gold from the forests of West Africa. Watch it move north through dangerous roads and desert winds. Watch it pass from miner to merchant, from market to caravan. By the end of that journey, you will understand why Mali became richer than Europe. Long before banks, stock markets, and modern borders, wealth moved by hand. It moved on camels. It moved through dust. It moved across the Sahara. The Sahara was not an empty space. It was a brutal highway. Only experienced traders could survive it. Heat could kill them. Thirst could kill them. Bandits could kill them. A wrong route could erase an entire caravan. Yet people kept crossing it. They crossed because the rewards were enormous. North Africa had salt, cloth, horses, books, and luxury goods. West Africa had gold. Between those two worlds, Mali became the gatekeeper. The empire did not need to own every mine directly. It only needed to control the roads, cities, and markets. That control turned movement into money. Every merchant wanted protection. Every caravan needed safe passage. Every load of goods could be taxed. And Mali understood this better than almost anyone. Gold was not just a shiny metal. Gold was trust. Gold was authority. Gold paid soldiers. Gold rewarded allies. Gold built mosques, courts, and cities. Gold made a ruler look chosen by heaven. In medieval Europe, gold coins were rare and powerful. A king with gold could hire armies and shape politics. A merchant with gold could cross borders and buy influence. A church with gold could display divine splendor. So when gold flowed from West Africa, the world paid attention. But the people outside Mali often saw only the final treasure. They did not see the system behind it. They did not see the miners digging in distant regions. They did not see the traders bargaining in crowded markets. They did not see officials collecting taxes with careful control. They did not see the rulers protecting trade because trade protected the empire. Mali's genius was economic as much as military. Its power came from understanding the value of position. To the north was the Sahara. To the south were gold-producing lands. To the east and west were cities hungry for goods. Mali stood between them like a locked door with a golden key. If traders wanted access, they had to pass through Mali's world. And every passage made the empire stronger. One of the most important goods was salt. Today, salt seems ordinary. In the medieval world, salt could mean survival. It preserved food. It supported health. It was needed in hot regions where bodies lost minerals quickly. Gold moved north. Salt moved south. Mali profited from both directions. This made its markets alive with constant exchange. Imagine a caravan arriving after weeks in the desert. Camels kneel in the sand. Merchants unload heavy bags. Gold dust is measured carefully. Salt slabs are stacked like stone. Voices rise in different languages. Scholars, traders, officials, and travelers all gather in one place. That was the sound of Mali's power. It was not only the sound of war drums, it was the sound of commerce. Then came the ruler who made that wealth impossible to ignore. His name was Mansa Musa. He did not create Mali's gold system alone, but he revealed it to the wider world. When he traveled to Mecca, he crossed lands that had never seen such royal wealth. His caravan was huge. His followers were many. His gifts were legendary. And the gold he distributed became part of global memory. In Cairo, stories claimed his generosity affected the value of gold. Whether every detail is perfect or exaggerated, the message is clear. Mali was rich enough to shock other rich societies. Mansa Musa became famous because he turned invisible wealth into visible spectacle. He made people ask a dangerous question. Where did all that gold come from? The answer led back to Mali. It led back to the trade routes. It led back to control over West African commerce. But Mali's greatness was not only gold. Wealth attracted learning. Learning attracted scholars. Scholars strengthened cities. Cities strengthened the empire. Timbuktu became a symbol of this transformation. It was a place of trade. It was also a place of manuscripts, law, religion, and scholarship. Gold helped build the conditions for knowledge. And knowledge gave Mali a different kind of prestige. Outsiders sometimes imagined Africa as disconnected from world history. Mali proves the opposite. It was connected to North Africa, the Islamic world, and global trade. Its wealth was not isolated. Its influence traveled with merchants, pilgrims, scholars, and stories. That is why Mali appeared in foreign imagination. That is why mapmakers remembered Mansa Musa. That is why the image of an African king holding gold still survives. But the true story is deeper than one rich man. Mansa Musa was the symbol. The trade system was the engine. The Sahara was the road. Gold was the language everyone understood. Mali became powerful because it mastered that language. It knew that controlling wealth was better than simply possessing it. It knew that a safe trade route could be as valuable as a battlefield victory. It knew that taxes could build armies without constant conquest. It knew that cities could become weapons of influence. This is what made Mali extraordinary. It was not a random treasure chest in the desert. It was a sophisticated empire with economic intelligence. Of course, Mali was not richer than every part of Europe in every possible way. History is never that simple. But in gold, prestige, and trade power, Mali stood among the giants of its age. European kingdoms heard stories of its wealth because those stories were impossible to ignore. The empire's gold moved far beyond its borders. It helped shape markets and imaginations across continents. And yet, many people today know only a fragment of this history. They remember Mansa Musa as the richest man. They forget the empire that made such wealth possible. They remember the gold. They forget the caravans. They remember the king. They forget the system. But the system is the real story. A piece of gold from West Africa did not become powerful by itself. It became powerful because Mali controlled its journey. From the mines to the markets, from the desert to the cities, Mali turned movement into empire. That is why the gold trade mattered. It did not merely enrich Mali. It made Mali one of the most powerful civilizations of the medieval world. So the next time someone calls Mansa Musa the richest man who ever lived, remember the deeper truth. Behind him stood miners, merchants, scholars, officials, caravans, and cities. Behind him stood an empire that understood wealth before modern economics had a name. Behind him stood Mali. And for a time, the world followed its gold. This also changes the way we compare Mali and Europe. Europe was not one simple place, and some regions were wealthy. But many European rulers depended on gold that traveled through African networks. Mali was not outside the medieval world. It was helping fund the medieval world. Its gold entered coins, courts, markets, and legends far away. The empire's influence was measured not only by borders. It was measured by how far its wealth could travel. That is a different kind of power. A fortress controls land. A navy controls water. Mali controlled a flow. And a flow can shape civilizations without raising a sword. This is why the desert trade matters so much. It connects a miner in West Africa to a merchant in Cairo. It connects a caravan leader to a king's treasury. It connects local labor to global prestige. Once you see that chain, Mali no longer looks distant. It looks central. If this story changed how you see African history, subscribe for more cinematic stories of lost empires. And tell me in the comments which civilization you want to follow next.